Hi everybody, my name is Victoria. Welcome back to my channel, and this is the first video of probably many to follow that are just going to be a bit chaotic in like a different spot and with noise in the background. My son is playing over here, so you're gonna hear him a little bit. We'll see how long I can film, but I'm in the process of moving, so behind me you can see an empty bookshelf and then one that I still need to pack, so hoping to pack that one today. But yes, we are moving in the next couple weeks. Next weekend we're moving all our furniture out of our house, and then the following weekend we'll be moving all the boxes and everything. So in a couple weeks, indeed, we will be in a different house. So I did want to at least film one more video before all that happens. So if I go dark for a couple weeks, that's why. But I wanted to talk about my, of course, my little guy's getting noisier and noisier. We'll see how this goes. But I wanted to talk about my 2023 reading goals because despite all the craziness, of course, I'm not me without reading goals. So I have made some. The first goal that I have for my new reading year is to keep a reading journal, and I'm going to be using this, which is a super cute journal that I've had for a while now. So this is my 2023 reading journal. I just thought it had a really cute cover. And my favorite part about this journal is that on the back there's a little cat with glasses. So that's fantastic, basically. I would like to just start logging the books that I read. I'm not a bullet journal girly in the sense that like I try to do bullet journals. I try my best. I do them how they work for me, which means they're usually not pretty. And so mostly my bullet journals just end up being lists of stuff and lists to do. And sometimes I have a little time to make them pretty, but generally I don't put a lot of pressure on myself to like make beautiful spreads, although maybe I would like to get into it. So that's a different goal for another time. But basically my reading journal is just gonna keep like lists of stuff I'm working on, ideas for videos, maybe even reading challenges that I'm doing. And I have a page of my reading goals here. So I don't know, the only way I could make it pretty was use different colors. So that's the extent. My journals just end up being lists, so it works for me. And then another thing I want to do with my reading journal is to write detailed reviews of each book that I read. And I think I'll start there. Instead of writing reviews on Goodreads, I want to just like write a couple pages of the book and what I thought of it. Because I think sometimes when I write on Goodreads, I have in the back of my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, people are going to read this review. So I'm writing it in a certain way. Not that I'm like dishonest or anything in them, but you write differently, I think, if you think like no one's gonna read it, you know. I think I might be a little more deep and honest if I just like get my thoughts out on paper first, and then I'll go do a Goodreads review from that and maybe like tailor it a little bit. It's kind of like my first draft of my Goodreads review that I'll write. That's what I am kind of envisioning for my reading journal. I might like paste like a picture of the book here or something and do some sort of spread, but we'll see. So far I haven't finished a book yet. So I haven't even started to log a book yet. My reading journal is like entirely just like lists. You can see where I ripped out some pages that I had used for a prayer journal. Look, we're just chaotic here. That's the name of the game. Okay, so that's one goal, is to use a reading journal. My second goal, I have to look at it. My second goal is to finish some currently reading series. And I'm not putting a number on this, like I don't know how many currently reading series I'm gonna finish. I have written down the ones that I'm in the middle of because I kind of forgot. And I'm not in the middle of a million series like many people on BookTube. I feel like I see a lot of videos that are like the 200 series that I'm in the middle of. And so that's not me. Thank goodness. I think I would go crazy. But I am in the middle of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 technically. And then one of them is like not even really a series. It's more like books that are loosely connected. And so I do want to get some of those checked off this list. And so one of those, actually several of those, involve me maybe rereading the first book or two. So the ones that include me rereading is the Farseer trilogy. I need to reread The Assassin's Apprentice before I continue. And I just really need to continue. I don't know what happened and why I didn't. I think I just started prioritizing other books. But the Farseer trilogy is one. And then another one I need to reread probably before I continue is the Skyward series. I'm really still on the fence about this because I don't know if I should just wait for all the books to be out. I think there's one more book coming out in the series. I need to reread Skyward and Starsight. I don't remember like almost anything about Starsight. I kind of remember the ending and that there was like a bit of a cliffhanger. I do have Cytonic, but I didn't want to continue until I reread Skyward and Starsight. So that one is a goal. But involves me rereading a little bit. Those are the only two that I think I have like rereading plans. Another series that I need to finish, which should be an easy one because there's just one more book I need to read, is the Shadow and Bone, the Grishaverse trilogy. And I just need to read Ruin and Rising. I have attempted to read it a few times, and then I just had other books for like read-alongs and stuff that got in the way. But I do want to continue that. I maybe need to find a summary of the second book because I don't really remember a lot of the second book. I know the first book really well. I don't remember a whole lot of Siege and Storm. So I might need to go back or maybe like find a little summary online. I'm sure there is one because it's such a popular YA series. But I do need to finish that trilogy. I started the Diviners trilogy, or is it a trilogy? I think so. I started the Diviners at the end of last year, and I did enjoy it enough, I think, to continue. And I would like to buddy read this, hopefully with V, at some point when she's ready to continue on that series, and when we're both ready. The Harry Potter series, I started a reread, and I'm very, very slow reread. I think it's been a couple years that I've been trying to reread the series, and I read Goblet of Fire last year, and I need to continue with Order of the Phoenix. I would love to finish that and read the next 3 books. We'll see about that. Again, I'm in no rush to reread Harry Potter. It's literally, I've just been taking so much time. Bless you. The Keeper of the Night duology. This is another one that's going to be easy to finish because it's a duology. And I just need to read the second book, which I bought. What's it called? The Empress of Time by Kylie Lee Baker. Yes. So that one will be easy to finish. And I don't want to get too far away from that one because I read that in like August. And I'm already starting to forget details a little bit, so I need to pick that up sooner rather than later. And I also understand that Ray Bradbury, his Something Wicked This Way Comes, which was one of my top books of the year. I really enjoyed it. I really liked his writing. I guess that's actually kind of part of a series, and I think Something Wicked This Way Comes is technically the second book in that series, so I want to go back and figure that out. I don't think there's that many books either. Maybe like 3 or 4. It's the Greentown series. And I think more it's like they're in the same setting, or these books like take place in the same world, but I'm not sure if the story is like connected. And I just haven't done that much research about it. They might be more connected than I think, but I do know that it's part of a series, and I would like to finish that. Is that all of it? I think that's all of it. Those are all the series that I'm in the middle of, which I'm glad it's not a ton. But I do want to finish at least a few and knock a few of those out before I start anything new. Which brings me to goal number 3, which is start the Wheel of Time. This was also a goal like the last 2 years. This is a series that I actually technically started. I read the first book in 2013. That was a long time ago now, and it was, oh my gosh, that's almost like, what, 9 years ago? No, 10 years ago. It's 2023. So I read that book 10 years ago. I need to reread it before I continue. Yeah, The Eye of the World, just reread that one and then commit to going forward in the series. It's just a bucket list series of mine that I have found many reasons not to pick up. Mostly I think I'm intimidated by it. But I feel like I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, especially after Kate Howe reviewed the series and she has her opinions on it, and they were not all positive. They were not really positive at all. So, there are warring opinions in my head of like whether or not the Wheel of Time series is worth reading, and I think I just have to try. To find out. That's the only way. So, start Wheel of Time would be something I would love to do this year. At least read like 2 or 3 books, the first 2 or 3 books. I think if I could read the first 3 by the end of the year, that would be fantastic. Number 4, I'm just looking at these goals and realizing how ambitious some of them are, but number 4 is one that I will take as much time as I need to. I'm not going to make myself like stick to any schedule here. And that is start a reread of the Stormlight Archives. I love this series, and I have only read it once now, and it is still like kind of fresh enough in my mind that I feel like when Sanderson releases that 5th book, looking like to be in 2024, I feel like I'd probably be okay not to reread it. However, I just want to reread it. It's been too long since I've been in this world, and I think I want to go back. So I would love to start a reread. Maybe not finish in 2023. It may carry into 2024. I would just like to take my time and reread the Stormlight Archives books. My 5th goal is to participate in Chantel's Read Your Shelf challenge, which I will link down below. I like how she has it where the next challenge kind of depends on the book that you read before. I think that's kind of a fun thing that I haven't really done before. So I would like to participate in hers. I think I've attempted hers also before and never like did it all the way through the year. But this year I would like to just like keep it in my line of sight and hopefully follow through on it. Although it's not, I haven't even read the January book yet. So we'll see. We're halfway through January at this point that I'm filming. So we'll see if we can do that. But yeah, that's goal number 5. Number 6 is bring back my exercising challenge, which is basically I'll give myself $1 for books for every 30 minutes that I exercise. And I've gotten this idea from a few other booktubers. I think Kaylee from Luminous Libro was doing this, and also she doesn't make videos anymore, but Megan Hannett, I think I might have heard of this from her first, and I just thought it was a great idea. And it's so going pretty well so far. I have started exercising again. Right now is a little bit chaotic with packing and like moving and stuff, so I'm still not on like a solid schedule. But I have exercised 3 times this week. Woo! So that's improvement. And I think that'll, again, help me like curb any book buying impulses, because I need to be able to exercise to make the money to buy the books. So if I don't exercise, I don't buy books. So hopefully it's like a good motivator for me. It was working for a while, and then I don't know why I stopped doing it. I think life just got crazy, but yeah, we're gonna bring it back. Goal number 7 is to read the Bible in a year. I'm doing well on this so far. I have actually never consistently stuck with this plan, despite making that plan almost every year. And I thought about doing this goal in a different way, of maybe like read half the Bible or something in a year, but then I was like, no, let's just try it. Read the Bible in a year. So far, so good. I just use the Bible. There's a Bible app that has some different plans that they upload, and then you can download, and it'll give you a reading schedule. So that's what I do for that. So far, that one's going well. I am very committed to that one. I want to make sure Bible reading is a daily habit, and I have never read the whole Bible in a year. I have tried many times. Number 8 is to read a book to Alessandro every day. I think already we've skipped maybe a couple of days, but generally this is becoming a pretty consistent habit is at some point in the day, usually before bedtime, we do like a before bedtime book. And he's only 5 months right now. So he doesn't like, he like, I think he's engaging with the pictures and the contrast, but I just want to start that habit early and read to him as much as I can. And so just making a conscious effort to read a book to him every day. Number 9 is to read books from my TBR cart. And I have a plan, but I'm not going to be able to implement it until we move. So, hang on. I may have to pause again. Are you okay? Are you getting... Okay, I think he's getting grumpy. Okay, I don't know. I think maybe I bought myself some more time. Number 9, read books from my TBR cart. So I am going to make a TBR cart. I bought one, but I have left it in the box because I knew we were moving. I haven't set it up yet. But I'm going to put my backlist books, ones that I'm currently interested in, I'm going to put them on the TBR cart. And then hopefully I will pick a couple of them every month for my TBR videos and just gradually work through my way too big backlist of owned books that have been sitting on my shelf for way too long. So I'm going to try to focus on books that I have had for longer, but it'll be a mixture of book of the month books that I want to get to and just things that I bought and never read. So that TBR cart will kind of be the backlist TBR cart. So I'm excited to try that and see how it works. My whole goal with that is to mood read, but also narrow down my options rather than looking at my shelves and being I don't know what to pick because there's too many books that I own that I haven't read. I think if I put them on my TBR cart, I will be able to narrow it down a little bit. And then the last and 10th goal is if I order a book of the month, it must be read immediately. I cannot let them pile up. And I'm going to be really strict with myself on this one. I am so excited because they just announced that they have audiobooks now, and that is going to, I think, be a game changer for me on this one. Because what I found is now that I have a little one, I'm working full time again. I just have a really incredibly demanding schedule. I'm getting up at 4 or 5 in the morning every day, and my day is basically chaos until he goes to bed, and then maybe I have a little physical reading time if I'm even awake enough. But often I find that I'm just so tired at night. So what I found is that physical reading time is very difficult for me right now. And I'm hoping that evens out a little bit as we go. Obviously, I'm moving right now too, so that's a whole other issue. But audiobooks, I am incorporating into my daily life, and so I am proud of myself for that because I generally used to write them off as audiobooks are not for me, but I'm trying to change my mentality about that because I think if I don't do audiobooks in my life, I'm not going to read at this point, just at this stage in my life, this year. And so, or at least I'm not going to read a whole lot. So I'm really making an effort to make audiobooks a part of my life. Anyways, that was a whole other segue into that. But Book of the Month is starting audiobook, so I am really excited. I may be able to keep the subscription if I can make those more of a habit and stay on top of them. So I haven't seen how they're releasing them or how many credits they're worth and stuff like that. So should be interesting. I also wonder if they're going to have an audiobook for each book, or if it's going to be only some of the choices for that month have an audiobook, which I have a feeling it might start that way. So we'll see. But that is my goal with that. I do not like that I subscribe to Book of the Month and they pile up. And so I'm trying to just really be on top of that. And if it keeps happening, I'm going to have to unsubscribe from Book of the Month. And it just won't be for me. So those are my 10 reading goals. And I think mostly, I think the thing with me this year is like, I'm not putting a timeline on things. So I'm not like, I'm not saying I'm going to finish Wheel of Time. And I'm not saying I'm going to finish the Stormlight Archives. You know, I'm not saying those things to myself. I'm just saying start things and then finish some things, but I'm not even telling myself how many of those things I'm going to finish. So again, I'm trying to keep things really loose and flexible. Flexible is like my word of the year. So I have to go because I got to be flexible. But thank you for watching this video, and I would love to know some of your reading goals. What do you think about these ones? Are there any that you have that are similar to these ones? I would love to know. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Keep reading great books, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.